the rig had finally stopped, all I remember was screaming, "I'm upside down, I'm upside down."
I was scared. I was frightened. I couldn't believe what had happened. And I couldn't believe that the rig had held up, considering the force we went through getting hit. Because I do remember getting hit, and I remember getting hit hard, and I remember going into spin.
Considering an ambulance flew through the air upside down, the fact that you would be able to find out the entire interior of the vehicle was still intact, which meant that if a patient was back there and if an attendant was back there, that nothing would have collapsed around them, and they would not have gotten more seriously injured by flying equipment or even equipment in the cabinets stayed in the cabinets.
The 2 EMTs that were in the cab of this vehicle walked away from the accident. Why? Because of the superior construction of Horton's modular body design.
It didn't cave in, it held up. Without that, I think, probably like a car, it would have just all crumbled and split apart. It stayed together.
Any broken bones or anything, or it's pretty much sound?
One girl had a cut.
That was it? Why are they lucky?
In fact, it wasn't luck at all. Horton's comprehensive safety and testing program at the Transportation Research Center in Ohio revealed a number of ways we could improve the modular body design while increasing the safety factor for the people who manned them. For example, over 17 years ago, during safety testing, Horton's engineers discovered that seat back failure could cause fatalities.
In a front-end collision, the seat back fails, causing the dummy to be thrown against the front bulkhead. Sensors placed inside of the dummy indicated that a fatality would have occurred.
In February of 1992, 60 Minutes aired a documentary on the danger of seat back failure, alerting both vehicle manufacturers and the public to this dangerous oversight. Horton engineers discovered and corrected this potentially fatal flaw over 17 years before the 60 Minutes documentary aired. That is just one example of why Horton is the pioneer in emergency vehicle testing and safety. At Horton, we remain committed to carrying on research, development, and implementation of the latest safety-related technology, giving your crews peace of mind while they carry on their life-saving work.
Horton's vehicle safety research takes place here at TRC in Ohio.
The Impact Simulator is the largest commercially available unit of its kind in the world. The sled is accelerated pneumatically by a 24-inch diameter piston that can accelerate a 10,000-pound payload to 44 Gs, simulating a crash speed of 71 miles per hour. Applications include impact testing of interiors, structural and component testing for aircraft fuselage and ambulance bodies.
Vehicles are put through the most rigorous dynamic crash testing, enabling Horton to produce a crash survivable modular ambulance.
Horton is the only manufacturer that has an ongoing testing program, and only Horton customers benefit from this safety-related program.
When we test, we look at every part of a vehicle's design. Stability of the vehicle body during acceleration or deceleration is critical in emergency situations. Body shift can throw a vehicle out of control during emergency maneuvers. TRC testing indicated that outrigger attachment of the body to the chassis, which is common on competing products, failed to hold the body to the chassis. Horton's double bolt system eliminates lift and lateral movement, greatly enhancing vehicle stability and safety.
Horton doors have always been the strongest in the business. In 1975, testing at the TRC facility revealed a weakness in the federally approved door latching mechanism.
As you can see, under the severe strain of our test conditions, the rear doors fly open.
We replaced those federally approved door latches with the Horton deadbolt handle assembly. In 1991, TRC tested our new body, doors, and latching mechanism. They proved to be more reliable and more dependable than ever.
After the truck flew upside down, the outside compartments, not a single outside compartment door opened. The box door did not open, so no one would have fallen out.
A great deal of research and testing is put into the design and manufacture of the interior of our modulars.
During an impact, the interior of a modular can rip apart. A variety of interior components may fly about, all having the potential to cause serious personal injury to the crew and passengers. Recent tests at the TRC facility were designed to examine the integrity of the aluminum cabinets, the stretcher mounting hardware, the stretcher, restraining belts, EMT and attendant seat belts, the mansaver bar at the head of the squad bench, and a variety of other essential interior component parts.
Horton's testing has allowed its engineers to better understand what techniques should be used to secure its interior component parts to provide a safer environment for the crew and patient. Now let's take a close look at the engineering and manufacturing processes that make Horton the safest ambulance on the road today.
The Horton Company uses the most sophisticated computer-enhanced manufacturing process available today. Horton's use of specific materials in selected areas will maintain the roll cage upon impact. Horton's patented impact corner and roof extrusions, as well as side impact barriers and gusset supports located in 28 different points, are critical to the modular body's ability to absorb the energy and stress generated in an accident. Our entire manufacturing process is backed up by the most comprehensive safety testing procedure in the industry. Attention to detail throughout the manufacturing process ensures that when a Horton leaves the assembly line, you are receiving the best engineered vehicle of its kind.
But the manufacturing process is only a part of the story. Horton prides itself on the remarkable safety record of its ambulances.
The testing that was done is accurate. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yes, knowing that Horton tests their ambulances and makes it safe means a lot.
Our members' safety is always the uppermost important thing that we can provide for them. And the Horton rig has always provided safety and a guaranteed safe ride.
I was involved in the purchase of the first Horton for the squad, which in fact was in a very serious accident on its way to delivery. Before we took delivery, we asked the Horton people to guarantee that this module would be in 100% satisfactory condition. They did that to us, and 14 years later, this rig is still a rideable ambulance. So we've been extremely satisfied with the Horton reliability. We've bought 4 more.
Until it's your family, until it's your paramedic in that vehicle, until it's the patient that you're responsible to, you don't think about the extra safety testing. The few extra dollars that we paid for the Horton were well spent when we recognized the safety aspect and the safety of our paramedics and patients that we transport.
We pay the higher value for a reason, because it's a safe truck, it's a quality truck, and those are our priorities. And if someone keeps comparing themselves to and saying it's worth a lower price, that's not a sacrifice that we're willing to make. We want the safety and the reliability and the quality, and we're willing to pay for it.
If it is a 10 or 15% difference, I would say yes. My paramedics are worth 10 or 15%. Our newly purchased 1992 Ford Horton emergency vehicle was involved in a very serious head-on collision just north of Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin.
A vehicle crossed our path, full-size Ford pickup. We wound up striking the vehicle, passenger side door and back into the box, resulting in extensive front-end damage to our vehicle. Luckily, my partner and I were both basically unhurt. We were able to get out of the vehicle. Had the box not been built so strong, there is a chance that it could have slid forward on the frame rails of the truck, causing possible collapse of the driver compartment down onto myself and my partner.
Pulling up to the scene 5 minutes later and seeing the vehicle sideways in the road, it really was difficult for me because I immediately recognized that the vehicle was totaled. That's one concern, and it is. It's a fact of life. I'm now one vehicle down. I was amazed to see that the flashing lights on the module were still working. And I was amazed to later find out that the call for help was made by the radio, the mobile radio inside the vehicle. I didn't think, looking at the vehicle, that there was any way that any electronics would work within the vehicle. But our radio, our lights in the back, all worked. After the accident, we went back and looked through the vehicle, and we were very surprised to find that the cabinetry, inside and out, was intact. Drug boxes inside those cabinets sustained ample damage or much damage because drugs were shattered inside those containers. As you can see, the doors on the vehicle sustained no damage at all, and every vehicle, door and cabinet, opened without any problems at all. we flew a technician in from Horton to do some initial examinations on the box. We now plan to re-chassis the box, and we expect years of reliable service from this box and from this ambulance.
In 1974, our first modular ambulance was by Horton. In 1978, we were looking for a new ambulance, and we had some fiscal constraints at the time that we had to deal with. So we looked at other vendors, and although the ambulance that we bought looked good on the surface, it certainly did self-destruct upon impact. It was a serious situation in which the life of a young man was lost.
You can see not only the destruction of the interior of the vehicle, the way the components failed to hold together, the debris laying out on the roadway, but the considerable damage that was done to the outside of the vehicle as a result of striking the utility pole. To us, that was dramatic, but that was a situation that caused us considerable concern.
If we had it to do again, it would have been a Horton, regardless of the costs. And that crash test is real important to us now.
This rig stood up. It survived for me. It was there for me. Basically, it saved my life.
With state-of-the-art engineering, safety testing, and reliability are important factors in your purchase decision. Think smart, think safe, think Horton.
In the past 26 years, Horton has produced over 6,000 modular bodies. Remarkably, with over 750 million miles of driving, no known fatalities have ever occurred inside of a Horton modular ambulance.
Plus, county was giving him one ambulance, you know, one four-wheel drive ambulance. And he got to keep all his collections. So he did pretty good. Well, you can tell by his lifetime. Yeah, I mean, you can tell by he was making. Oh yeah, oh man.